My name is Manuel Reyes and I am a part of the PCP class. Today I'm going to be presenting to you homelessness in Mexico. Okay, so let's start with what is homelessness. Well, homelessness is a situation regarding it could be an individual, family, or even a whole community that don't have stable, safe, or permanent appropriate housing. That means that they don't have the access to the natural resources that we all should have to live correctly and to have a well lived life, right? So here are some statistics of homelessness. So around 16 million people live in an inadequate housing condition. What does it mean, an inadequate housing condition? Well, it can be several things, but the most common are, for example, dirt floors, tin roofs, and mud walls. Those are some of the deplorable conditions of bad housing that some people have that are or should be considered part of homelessness. 1/3 of the population of Mexico are adolescents, and roughly half of these, which are approximately 21 million, live in poverty with deplorable housing conditions. Okay, so why is this phenomenon or this condition that everybody seems to be trying to help, but nobody can actually do anything? So normally homelessness is caused by inequality. That's kind of an obvious reason. Some people have a lot of money, some people don't. That's what it means by inequality. And what does provokes the inequality? Well, for example, lack of studies. Lack of studies is one of them. It gives you a lack of opportunities, a lack of work, and people who are abandoned by their families since they were children. There are many causes that can provoke this condition. So here are some challenges that homeless people present. For example, hygiene and sanitary facilities. Obviously, that's one of the most important things that we need, and we find them all in our housing. The whole thing. And as the people that don't have a house or don't have these conditions, they suffer of lack of hygiene and sanitary facilities, which can provoke a lot of sickness and that kind of stuff. Hostility from the public and the laws against urban vacancy. As you may well know, it is a bad thing that you don't have a roof where to live, and most of the time people may confuse it or may pass it for people who do drugs, who are alcoholic, who are aggressive. Like, that's some of the concepts that you receive when you say homeless people, a homeless person. And also there are many laws that prohibit people living in the floors, in public spaces. So they have to keep moving, they cannot stay in a space because at some point someone from the law is going to find out and is going to do something to change that. Cleaning and drying of clothes, they have to stick with the same clothes they have, and they don't have any access to methods of cleaning those clothes. Obtaining or preparing and storing food, that's like one of the most important reasons that which they suffer, because they are very hard to find food. Like the access to their food is very difficult. That's why they have to be looking for garbages or leftovers of people that are passing by, and that may as well cause a lot of sickness because you don't know which food are you eating or in which state it is. Also, like medical problems, as I told before, all of these, each in its own way, provokes sickness, a medical problem. Then, personal security. Obviously, when you don't have any resources, anything, you are very easy to be violented or to have encounters with people who, because there are a lot of people that, as it says here, hostility from the public, that hate homeless people, and sometimes even try to abuse of them. So that's something that they are in risk of. And the last challenge, which is one of the most important in all of this, is that they need to be moving and moving and moving with all of their possessions, because they don't have anywhere stored their possessions, and because of the laws against urban vagrancy, they have to keep on moving. So that's one thing that it's a challenge for them. Okay, this is, in my opinion, conformism. One of the most important reasons of people in poverty and in homelessness. Why is conformism so important to all of these people? Because, in my opinion, and I'm not saying that everybody should agree or not, but in my opinion, when you have a good mentality, it doesn't matter your lack of opportunities or your lack of studies, you are going to make sure that you get what you think you deserve. And that's something that these people are just, they don't care about having a better life, they don't care about having, or they do, but they don't care to do what it takes to have a better life. So it's a very situation that it's all mental, and it's most percentage of how to change that condition. Okay, how can we end homelessness? Okay, as seen as poverty and homelessness and this kind of stuff, it's a worldwide problem. All across governments, it doesn't matter. I mean, there are some countries that have it better than others, but you will find it in almost every country. How do you end something this big? Okay, well, there is certainly a part of responsibility in the government, like giving more access to schools, cheaper and better schools. That's one of the most important things. Affordable schools that people with lack of resources can go to, and that is a good condition school, because, for example, here in Mexico, there are some schools that are private and that are good. But what about the ones that are not? The ones that are public schools and that kind of stuff? Well, not most of them are good schools with good teachers. So that's a great obstacle in people moving forward instead of getting where they are. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, questions? Yes.
Okay, you say there that those who can end homelessness is the government, right? Okay, today there is a paper from the United Nations that speaks specifically about homelessness in places like Mexico, developing countries they call them. Mexico, as it has been seen with other problems like some solutions given to us against violence or gender violence, why do you think we haven't accepted the solution given by the United Nations, or any solution that had been presented, or even the solutions that the same government has proposed? Some figures like can be the president, they don't accept them, or they speak against them. Why do you think is this reaction?
Well, I think obviously as individuals and as human beings, we tend to care more about ourselves in first place, our families and our loved ones, instead of all the people that live in these deplorable conditions. So if someone tells you to do something to improve it, okay, there are going to be some good people that will try to help, but there are some people that just because they are in a good condition or not in a that bad condition, you can say, and their families and their loved ones are in a good condition, they are not going to care about other people, or they are going to care, but what they're going to do isn't at the scale or at the level to help them getting out of that condition. Like, if you see a homeless people, okay, you're going to give him some food or trying to help him, but actually you're just doing nothing. So that's my answer. I think it's personal interest what it's keeping us as a society from accepting all other methods of arranging this stuff.
I have a follow-up. Okay, you spoke about police officers being very violent against these people. Well, the state of homeless doesn't make you less or more human. You agree with
I
it?
agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Police officers in Mexico should respect these people. Why do you think that police officers don't respect homeless people, or they don't help them, or they don't take him to they don't follow the protocol that they should follow? Why do you think this is, and how do you think we can change this problem with the police officers?
Okay, first of all, I think talking about the police, first of all, here in Mexico, I think there is a large lack of not intelligence, but of knowledge of how procedures can run in every area. I mean, in transit, in this kind of stuff, like it's not well prepared as it should be or as it is in other countries. So I think the method that they follow are just because they don't actually know what to do, or also because yes, being a homeless man, for example, living in a public place, there are laws that are against that. Yeah, a policeman should treat it correctly as it's stated in the law. But you see homeless man as a policeman, and maybe you think he's worthless. I mean, he don't have rights. Maybe he can't do anything to you because if he says something, they're not going to believe because of his condition. He doesn't have the power to go against you. So that's why I think they go over their heads with these kind of actions. Because in some part, they're right. I mean, they should respect the law, and the homeless people are breaking it. Obviously, because they don't have money or anything, but they are in some way breaking the law. And the policeman doesn't have wrong that, but the method in which they are treating this condition, it's what they're doing wrong. And I think we could improve it by reinforcing the knowledge of policemen all around Mexico. Their ignorance about these methods is what is causing this.
Okay, thank you.